Hey guys, and welcome to the sandwich making for Super Villain Bowl.
Hi guys, I'm Rita, and this is Joe.
Sorry.
Welcome to our third sandwich making video.
Do you want more detail? Check out the other two we've done on the Captain America Civil War Trailer 2 spoof and
we did one on the Superhero
Bowl. And
this is the biggest so far, because if we decide to make a fourth one for the Super Showdown Bowl, that'll probably be... so get ready for this short featurette.
Exactly.
About making a Toon sandwich.
Right. So yeah, we're going to go into excruciating detail, the kind of detail you can only see when you're a few millimeters tall. Let's go, Rita.
Rita? Where are you? Did you get sucked into the quantum realm? Rita!
So the first stage for any Toon sandwich video is the writing of the script. Before we could even start writing the script, we had to come up with hundreds of different character gags and character interactions. This list of potential characters and their abilities helped with that, grouping characters together based on their powers. And we record them all as post-its in this high-tech post-it software. And once we had enough of those, and once we knew which characters we wanted to have in the final round, we arranged them all in a structure based around three main strands of Star Wars, DC, and Marvel characters. The post-its here are color-coded, so Star Wars being blue, DC green, Marvel red. Yellow, miscellaneous. Grey was Agent Smith for some reason, and light blue is witches. There's a witch thread running through this video apparently, and that just helped us group all these different gags into some sort of order. But it's pretty much entirely random. And once we had that, we were able to start writing the script. And this time we actually filmed some of the writing process. And here it is.
It's happening. It's All right, so we just left the Goblin King and we're going over to Amanda Waller and the Suicide Squad.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Bruce Wayne and meet for the first time. That's like Kermit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
or do I say? Clark Kent meet together.
Guys, do spells, man.
I can't use the line, Your Highness, you have a charming family, because it conflicts with this earlier line of welcome to the family that he says to Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
So it's something about children, I guess.
Look, I had 2 children and I couldn't deal. How do you manage it with so many?
I
hate teenagers.
I hate them when they're that age.
Teenagers, am I right? I mean, 2 are too much for me.
Kids, am I right?
The Reagan line and this line. Maybe it should be a reference to them both being young girls of the same age in like a white dress that's now covered in whether it be vomit or blood or something.
Because I was the prom queen too. Wow.
See, that's funny.
I was prom queen myself.
Vader goes down. Is there anything you think that Cersei could say, Joffrey and Tywin on either side of her, and they get zapped in the way that the tripod usually zaps people? Like the person disappears in a cloud of dust, leaving the clothes.
Right. Okay.
The opposite happens to her.
Unless we're just really obvious with that line. Oh, typical.
Right? Yeah.
Typical.
She's the one who gets taken by Jaws. So could she say like the run of shame or something?
Implies that she should have last night's high heels in her back there. She's singing. I'm gonna give you the choice I never had, and then the Vincent guy goes, I'll take it, and then he gets zapped, and he's like,
That's so close. So maybe he could just say that to Vincent's
this has
dust.
to be a parasol as well, you know, like an old school parasol. Back in the day, when he was not alive.
Could Vincent get turned to dust and Lestat be like, not realizing it's the tripod doing this? Wait, you're a vampire already? Well, you got to die like a vampire. Oh, whew, I thought that was me for a second. Achoo.
It is so different too, because this thing is like incinerating them, whereas like the sun turns them to stony ash, and then they kind of fall apart. They're like Pompeii. Why does everyone I love leave me?
Why do all my friends turn to dust?
Literally every vampire I meet becomes dust.
Should never make vampires in the daytime.
Confusing.
Could he say, why does this always end in dust? And sneeze.
Why does this always end in dust?
I don't know, but if she's just like trying to get out of there without saying anything, and then someone sees her, like Hella or someone, they can be like, oh, walk of shame, that's familiar. I'm feeling like I've been there, girl. You know, like, I don't know.
That works because we can have the first part of the line on the shot of her walking, and then...
Walk of shame. We've all been there, girlfriend.
There's something like, I should have attached a strap or something. Like, as he's being killed, you know, like, I should have attached the strap. There has to be some kind of a moment where, like, he's, like, filled with confidence, like, I've won this match, all I have to do is kill you now, and she just takes all this power away and thunk, with her simple telekinesis that she's always had. See, power is something you have to, you have to be born with it, something like that. You have to develop over time, you know, you can't just
take it.
Or is he making the opposite point, and she says, like, thanks for the advice? Because it doesn't really make sense in saying that his power, like we'll see in Infinity War, he's going around collecting all these stones and chucking them into his glove to gain this power. He steals it.
So in order to have power, you have to learn how to take power, and then she can take it. And thanks for the lesson. When will you humans learn the only way to have real power is to take it? In so many years.
Yeah, I love when that's great.
She can suck it off and just say, lesson learned.
Exactly, yeah, because lesson, that ties into her being a
Student of Professor X. Lesson learned.
I have no idea what it's actually going to look like when Thanos.
But
we
if
won't know
that's
until
what it
after
looks
this. Like, if like the energy, if there's actually energy coming out of it and it's colored to the stone, I would hope so.
Predicted things before.
Yeah, we've also been horribly wrong before.
Yeah. And finally on this cool mitt, there's no one left.
Brand new mitt and no one to
Play ball. Bam!
Harley Quinn. Called him it. What does she say to that?
Duh.
I could have told you that without all the hullabaloo.
I could have told you that when we started this. But then it wouldn't have been as much fun.
I could have told you that from the start, but that wouldn't have been as much fun.
We can just change it to, look, buddy, you're not my type. I'm more into tats than scars. We've got the two different jokers as well.
I'm really more into tats than scars.
I almost don't want to do But I will.
But I will. It's doing it in real time. It's just eating you up from the inside. And he flips the switch on the wall with the bat, suddenly revealing Oscar on his phone. Damn it. Why did I put that switch there?
We don't know you. We got some of you for makeup.
They got one.
They won the makeup award. Yeah.
So post-its used to write the script. Fascinating! And that resulted in a script that was 28 pages long. And since a page of script generally represents 1 minute of screen time, we knew we were screwed. Thus began stage 2, the voice recording. This time we actually had some audio reference of the characters we were attempting to imitate with us. Each recording session usually lasted over an hour, and it was like the hottest time you could do recording in a closet, so we died.
Ow, I just hit myself in the face with the phone. Literally melting, so it'll be very in character.
Oh my god, look at my hands, they're pruned. My actual hand is pruned. I'm turning into a monster. That's what doing all these voices does. Also sweating a lot. Photographic evidence of the sweat produced during. This shirt used to be white, but it did motivate you to do it as quickly as possible. And what we find usually works best is when you say the audio reference line, try to get your voice as close as possible to that, and then immediately afterwards say the line you're meant to be recording.
You know, I noticed an infestation here. Oh, shut up! I'm crawling out of my skin here!
Whew. And just as with the Superhero Bowl, we recorded video for all of these sessions. And if you stick around, you'll be able to see a side-by-side of us doing the voices along with the final video and images of some of the animation elements as well, thrown in for good measure. So there's lots of footage of us saying various lines of these characters from their actual movies. Can you guess the character based on the line of dialogue?
I wasn't there for you, my child, but I am now. Was that a little over the top? I can never tell.
Riddler.
No one cared who I was until I put on the mask.
It's ours now, we just have to take it. Tell me, I want to know. Your language is simple.
I'm being torn apart. Kill the past if you have to.
I embrace it proudly.
Why so serious?
Shoot, the glass.
Harry Potter. I am your father.
Stupid fat hobbit is always so polite.
I want to assemble a task force. Never Longbottom, is it? Come over. Sit there, mama.
I will marry you if you had the body of G.I. Joe.
A freeze is coming.
I saw her first.
How industrious.
How did you open the protective files? Mask. I've been a freaking evil genius for 20 years, okay?
Really? You don't look like him. You sound like him. No, they're not scared of you, they're scared of me. Well, well, King Stefan.
You were caught trying to steal the chakra stones. Bali Dinalo.
You're no more than one generation away from pure white trash.
I'll tell you the real truth.
I win. I bested you in combat. To question my logic. Steve should never. Most absurd of God's creatures. I know the kind of mutants you're looking for, and I know where to find them.
Well, y'all must be crazy. You don't have to worry about me, bro. Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent.
Did you steal them? What happened to your clothes? How strong is your heart? No doubt. Stick your up her ass, you mother.
Do you fear death? Human, what? I own this street. You just live here. Jake!
This cage is empty.
Edmund, I would very much like to meet the rest of your family.
How about a little fire, Scarecrow?
You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
Well, so it is. You must be dead.
Your name is so you can point your fingers and say, look, there's the bad guy. Okay? Yeah.
Tell Sydney it's all because of her.
I am not hiding. It seems like every woman you try to save ends up dead.
I bet you have lots of friends.
I am the one who knocks.
Yeah, science.
I'll take everything from them. Purpose that drives us. When do we start?
Hey, if you like a girl, can you light her cigarette with your pinky? Because that would be real classy. Something tells me a whole lot of people are about to die.
Things are better. The world is better. No, you're insane. I know this hurts. Call to John.
If you guessed Max Shrek for all the above, you are incorrect.
Wait. Careful.
And once that was done, once we'd sweated out every drop of juice we had inside our bodies, we were left desiccated and with 13 hours and 13 minutes of audio. How lucky is that I then had to dig through in order to create the guide audio. We are on stage 3, separation of the command module. We are in Pro Tools now, and we have to take those 13 hours and 13 minutes, select the best takes, group the different lines of dialogues together, put each group in correct chronological order, and then choose the best of the best final takes from each group. And best in this context means least bad. And once you've got all your final takes, all your ducks in a row, you can work out the final timing, putting in all the key sound effects that you will need while doing the animation. And at the end of the process, that 13 hours and 13 minutes comes down to 22 minutes and 29 seconds. So much for one script page equals 1 minute. Ha! That audio is then exported, compressed, and imported into Adobe Animate. So that's 1,332 seconds, 31,968 frames. And each one took 10 weeks to... No. But before we can start animating, we have to draw all the new characters. To do that, I had to collect reference images for all the characters and put them all in this folder, which contains 1,085 images, apparently. Crikey Moses! And they were used to draw the 194 new characters that appear in Supervillain Bowl. Look at them all! Never before has there been so much bad in one place. I feel evil just looking at these images. Michelle Maybell. It can be tricky finding the right image to trace for the character. You want the head facing not quite front on, bit to the side. She's a killer queen, gunpowder gelatine. And there were also a couple of characters somewhat original. Vader's psychotic love child that I just called Valian, because my imagination is dead. And the sushi chef. So I pull my weight. Whole bunch of new pupils had to be made too. I say pupils, but they're not just pupils, are they? They're irises as well. Irises. But I call them pupils. Golem's one actually constricts. His is special. And once we have all the characters drawn, all 194, I'm going to say that again, 194 characters drawn in their initial positions, then it's time for Bowie. Face shapes, mouths mainly, but also eyes and brows of any character that has to speak or express themselves with their faces, as opposed to their bodies, which can also be expressive. Here are all the mouths created for Supervillain Bowl. Mouthing off at us. Rude will be used to thumbnail animate the characters speaking once we have the guide audio in here. This was all being drawn at the same time as the voices were being recorded and the guide audio is being assembled. Face shapes were a lot trickier than in the Superhero Bowl because this time We've got creatures and monsters and things with weird mouths. Not to cast aspersions, King Kong doesn't have the greatest set of pearly whites. Speaking of teeth, here's Mola Ram. Thanks, Indy. And something new that I started doing with this video for some of the characters is jaws. Not the shark. Actual human jaws. It was just a process of taking the head layer and making it a separate object, masking out the jaw in frame 2, bringing that object into the mouth object, and stretching the jaw vertically to coincide with the extremity of the various mouth shapes. But here's me realizing that his 5 o'clock shadow has to be part of the head object as well in order for it to work. And why is there still a gap there? I don't know, but I'm going to delete these unnecessary properties and just move it up a few pixels. And finally, Mola Ram speaks, and his jaw moves when he speaks. Lucky guy. My heart goes out to him. Enough is enough! Snakes on a mane. Some characters feature these looping animations, such as, what's her name? All right, I got it here. Medusa's hair and Davy Jones's beard. And that involves a lot of moving things around in motion tweens, but making sure to bring them back to their starting position so you can get a smooth loop. Or smoop, as I never call it. So just a few different versions of the snake head and the snake body, making all their movements different creates the illusion that they're all different snakes, but they're not. It's just the same few snakes and the same few tentacles. Fooled ya. So we've got all our characters. They're ready and raring to go. But before they can be animated, they have to be inserted into the timeline. So we have our guide audio now. We know where everything's supposed to go. We create the cuts. We work out where each edit is going to be by adding in blank keyframes all the way along the timeline. And then we insert our characters into the timeline where they're supposed to appear. And it gets a bit complicated when the character appears multiple times at different points in the timeline. You have to keep track of all the start frames for each time that character appears. It's a pain, man. I filled up 8 notebook pages with Supervillain Bowl poetry. How I remember this, at this point I thought I was going to be able to do it all in the one timeline. When I got to frame 16,000, it wouldn't let me put the characters in. And then I looked it up and I found out that the timeline cannot exceed 16,000 frames exactly, which meant the video had to be split into 3 parts, all in the one project file, but just 3 different scenes, as Animate calls it, 3 different timelines. What were the split points, you ask? The first one occurred right after Poison Ivy gets converted by Enchantress, and the second one occurs right at the very end after Harley Quinn knocks out Jean Grey. So the third scene was the shortest, all the Oscar stuff and the ending. So we got around that one. What? That's what happens when you forget to set it to single frame instead of loop. Here's something we have to talk about. This video was the first time I've ever used Animate's armature feature, which is hard to believe now, because I use it all the time ever since. It makes animating characters, especially characters with lots of articulation, so much faster and easier. Basically, you draw the pieces of the character and you can connect them with these purpley lines, which is an armature. And once you've done that, you can animate it using inverse kinematics. And what that means is when objects are connected in a chain, like an arm or a leg, you can just grab the hand and move the hand around, and the bones in the arm will move to accommodate the hand's new position. And that made it so much easier, so much better to animate all these complex characters with lots of extra limbs, such as General Grievous, the Edgar Bug, Starship Troopers Bug, the Alien Queen, and Shelob. Shelob, yeah, no. It's a spider, not a beetle. The many limbs, basically. But now I use it all the time for almost every character. And it was really great for things like segmented tails and tentacles, or as I like to call them, segmenticles. I've actually never called them that, but I will now, such as the alien tails. See, here I was originally going to do it manually, like without inverse kinematics, with just manual-matics. But luckily I discovered the armature tool just sitting there, and the fish scales fell from my eyes. Like the end of Pirates of the Caribbean 3. At World's Bell End. However, armatures in Adobe Animate aren't perfect just yet. There are certain glitches you have to work around. Glitches be crazy! Basically, you need to construct your armature in a specific sequence, otherwise it'll freak out on you when you create your second pose keyframe. You need to connect all the pieces, then fix up the layer order, then fix up all your rotation axes for those pieces, and then set a later keyframe, copy it back onto the first keyframe, overriding it, and then you're pretty much good to go. This is my personal list of armature don'ts. Don't delete or add bones once you've created poses. Don't adjust the registration points once you create your first pose. Don't move more than one keyframe at a time. Don't transform, flip, or swap symbols. Don't move multiple armatures together. Don't copy symbols from an armature to create a new one elsewhere. Don't add frames to an armature span, or if you do, reset all following keyframes and on it goes. So yes, not a perfect tool, but if you know the tricks, if you know your grift, you can chicane your way around the bear traps. So yeah, get on that Adobe. Update request. Doc Ock, and the Squiddy I animated before I discovered the armature tool. So those tentacles are motion tween animated. These days I just CGI that stuff. I mean armature. Can't live if living is without armatures in Adobe Animate. But what is this? Armature hour? Let's look at some transformations. The Supervillain Bowl has a lot of these, because if there's one thing bad guys love doing, it's transforming. From Pennywise to the Sushi Chef, and reuse this animation in reverse to change him back into Pennywise, into that crazy clown we all love, Mr. Sandman into Sand Monster. The more parts that you can transform as shape tweens, the better, because it saves time and it looks smoother. Win-win. Just to refresh shape tweens, you just draw the A and the Z and the computer fills in the rest of the alphabet. Just have to make sure that it's a simple enough shape. So for this one, the fill is a shape tween, which then had to be converted to frame-by-frame animation and touched up around the edges to fit within the manually animated outline, changing color as it goes, which is something you can easily do with any shape tween. So yeah, trying to break down his arms to turn them into shapes. Most of the time with these was still manually drawn frame by frame animation, because there's just way too much detail in these outlines. But one thing I realized belatedly, because I'm a bit slow, is that you get the best results when you focus on one line at a time. So just focusing on one line, one squiggle, and drawing its progress throughout the transformation yields smooth and better results. And isn't that all that we can ask for? Raiders of the Lost animations. Using the actual effects from Raiders and Last Crusade as a guide for these. Always just splitting the difference, doing the halfway point, and then the quarter point, three-quarter point, and so on. Donovan. My favorite character death in a movie. We all have our own. Time was not kind. These color stops are shape tweens just to give me the color change throughout the transformation. And I can use the eyedropper tool to grab the new color each frame for my fills and shading. This transformation has 4 different color stages that it goes through. Very intense, these effects. They took a while. The birds! These crows, or ravens. This animation is traced off a GIF of a raven/crow taking flight. And that animation is adjusted so the bird increases in size. And then it was copied. This is Queen Ravenna turning into birds, by the way. So this animation is copied and added in every frame as her body is masked away from top to bottom. And then it gets even more complex because this whole animation had to have both a full color version and a black and white stone version of the exact same thing. And then a stone version is masked over the color version as she turns to stone. And that was the same method used for Davy Jones, concretifying. Someone needs to come up with a better word for turning to stone than solidifying. It just doesn't have the right zing to it. Rockifying. There's a lot of transformations here. Queen Ravenna transforms from her oldest self. Emma Frost, from young to old lady. Shape tweens, huge advantage here. Whenever you can use them. Someone offers you a shape tween, just say yes. Wolfman, lots of frame by frame for the clothing that tears off, but most of the body transformation is accomplished with shape tweens and motion tweens, fading objects on and off. T1000, once again, these little color circles, shape tweens are just temporary. They're just there to give us the colors that we need over the course of the transformation. Oh my goodness, what the heck was I thinking? This Agent Smith bullet dodge, I guess originally I thought I could animate all the pieces in the one timeline and that would work. Eventually, sanity prevailed and the torso was done as a separate timeline nested within the body. Doi. This just required the torso to be drawn at different angles, and it was an animation loop that was then, as motion clips, staggered in time and at decreasing amounts of opacity. I hope that made sense. It was a pain in the butt, shattering the T1000. Here's a workaround to shattering a complex object using masks. So here's the T1000 with his semi-transparent ice layer on top, and a different mask is used each frame to cut him into pieces, and there's an extra layer on top where the new edges have to be drawn each frame. And then you've got all your pieces. If you want the pieces to rotate, however, you've got to move the axis rotation point for each piece to the center of said piece. Peace out. and then you can rotate those puppies. Drag them out of the shot. We can just drag their paths and create curves to approximate gravity, the gravity one would expect of this moment in time. T1000 shatters into 1,000 pieces, or 18 pieces. Either way. All right, pin this because it's important. This is like 4 different animations of a pin flying upwards at a different angle each time from overhead to side on. The start frames of some of them are staggered so they don't all pop off at the same time. And that's how you make pins fly out of someone's head. Words can't express how handy this information is going to become for all who listen to this. And of course, there's some transformationing. Transforming is also a usable term. And this was tricky because he's got grid work on his head. Bothersome, which has to be drawn in frame by frame. Frame by frame. I'm sorry, losing my mind here. Uh-oh, here's the thing. Popping that neck off. Some stretchy, gooey stretchies there. And this is the head object of the Heath Ledger Joker upside down. We've created all these thing parts, and now we have to animate them coming out, which was a bit tricky because one of the legs actually comes out of his eye hole. I guess that leg took a wrong turn. Missed its legsit. It looks cool, that's why it happens. And a mask is used to make sure we don't see the legs before they come out of the head. And as we can see here, armatures are being used for all the legs there. The green spans that you see in the timeline there, those are the armatures. See, it's my favorite color. It was meant to be. Sentinel, little flower face, pain in the butt. That texture has to be applied to each frame individually. Melting of the T1000 is another good example of frame by frame, or a bad example, depending on what you think of it. Maybe it's crap. T1000's head morphing into one of the characters that it impersonated, just like the end of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Remember that scene with Harley Quinn at the end of Terminator 2 Judgment Day? Yeah, that. Elements! My dear Watson, lots of new elephants. Lots of new elements and hippopotamuses were made for the Supervillain Bowl. These included, but were not limited to, actually they were limited to, dust poofs for characters getting vaporized by the tripod heat ray, bamfs for Nightcrawler, various debris, burn ashes, which were used extensively for characters getting combusted spontaneously. These skin flakes for Thanos' head, added similar to those ravens we talked about, or crows. As the head is masked away, these skin flake elements are placed in there frame by frame at different points to give the illusion that he's deteriorating into skin flakes. All these black and white elements, their colors can be changed to match whatever they need to match in the shot, just by adding a color effect in the instance properties panel thing. A whole bunch of drippies. Slimy stretches used in the fly transforming. These metal drips obviously used for the T1000 melting. Really added to the frame by frame animation. Ooh, it's getting more random. Falling leaves, falling dust, disrupted sand by Jaws. This is me actually creating the Enchantress magic element, which is about as random as elements get. It's not a stalactite, it's not a stalagmite, it's a stalexide ice thing. Cracking rock. Rock crack. Lasers. Skin subsurface scattering. Glowing stuff. Phoenix magic. That's exactly what Phoenix magic looks like, by the way. Smith goo speculars. Spray burns, lightsaber burns. Get a jolt from my electrodes. These are totally ripped off some elements created in the Justice League trailer spoof. For Flash. Flash. Ah. Yep, that one. Explodies! Boom! Goes the dynamite. Fire! So many electro zappy beams. What do we got? Infinity beam. Force lightning! Not to be outdone. Gozer lightning. Laser Zod, laser Ultron. Freeze beam. Godzilla fire! Is that what Godzilla sounds like? I guess so. Gene beam. Martian beam. Comes in green and red. Sentinel beam. So many beams, so little time. Lightsabers. Lots of flares, flicky things. Light was a big deal in this bowl. This is how I envisaged Thanos' infinity powers as multicolored flames. I like to remind viewers that Super Villain Bowl was created before Infinity War came out, so I think I did a terrible job of predicting what it would look like. These pieces of these characters were drawn just for this shot as silhouettes with like edge lighting, and all the parallax of the camera pulling back is done manually with motion tweens and adjusting the scale of each object. It was a pain, man. Oh, don't forget the little people. As with the superhero bowl, the background action was a separate layer and a separate timeline running alongside the foreground action. So to animate background action, you'd click into that layer and you could see a ghost image of the foreground action to assist you in positioning your background characters. Here are all the background characters that were created for the Supervillain Bowl, going nowhere fast. And here are all the specialty animations of some of these characters. Unlike in the Supervillain Bowl, which used a lot of frame-by-frame animation for the legs and the arms of the background characters, the villain background characters were accomplished using armatures. Yep, we love armatures here. Drawing each character in pieces and then animating them in the exact same way each time. Catwoman was the first of these that was created. Simply by duplicating the Catwoman parts object, drawing new pieces over her pieces, and then deleting her pieces, was able to use the exact same animation to create all the different background characters. So here are some of the background characters and the different parts that comprise them. As you can see, it's the same parts every time, they've just drawn to match a different character. And so running cycles was a cinch, and then there's all these specialty animations for certain characters, but the armatures made animating those so much easier. You got all the pieces, you just got to move them around. And there's a lot of instances where a couple of different characters interact, most directly the sword wielders, and those ones were animated separately and then placed together in the timeline and adjusted if necessary. It's the same timing for hits and impacts. It all connects up surprisingly well. And here, twist, are the 5 hidden breadcrumb characters. So that's what they look like. I wonder where they are in the video itself. Hopefully well hidden. Otherwise, the title of Hidden Breadcrumb is kind of misleading. It'd be weird if they were right in your face. So once all our background characters are created, then it's a process of going through the entire animation again and placing them in there behind the foreground animation. Once Godzilla wipes everyone out, the background timeline was just used for fire elements. This Excel file helped me keep track of all the 194 characters, and these characters up at the top here are the ones that appear as background characters, and I had to keep track of when each character died, whether it was in the foreground or the background, so that the character wouldn't appear after that point. Despite all that planning, the character of the Vulture still managed to have a surprise encore despite having died in the background. But I still maintain that it's not actually the Vulture the second time, it is the Thing. So I guess I didn't make a single mistake. Yay! No, there's plenty of mistakes in there. The backgrounds are reused entirely from Superhero Bowl, except when it gets into the Golden Orb, using ovals to create this grid as a guide, and then this video screen object is distributed throughout that grid and stretched and skewed to fit the various cells, and that created this background with a bit of a gold vignette. And after months and months, I finally got to the end of the animation. Yay! So as I said, this project was split into 3 scenes and exported as 3 huge video files, which were then brought into After Effects for the final video stages. The video screens was a big deal. So the first thing that had to happen was to create a video file of just the action scenes from Superhero Bowl and Supervillain Bowl. So the video of scenes 1 and 2 within the arena reappears in the video screens in scene 3. Very lucky I decided to split it at that point. Using that Golden Orb background as a guide, an array of this one video file is created with the start frame of each layer randomized using an expression, and that was done as a quarter of the background and then copied 3 times and flipped, and the video had to be flipped and flopped depending on which quarter it was in to create this curved array of screens, and that's placed underneath the animation background, which is transparent through all the screens. I can't even understand what I just said. It was a pain in the butt and it was very render intensive. Oh, and it wasn't just the battle shots from the Superhero Bowl and Supervillain Bowl. It was also a montage was created of all the shots in all the trailer spoofs that we'd done so far that were featured in the actual movies of those trailers, so that it appeared as though Oscar was showing them scenes from the movies themselves, only Toon sandwichified. But that was really the only huge thing that was done in After Effects, other than combining those 3 big video files into one, adding the watermark and the end screen and the end montage and all the stuff that always happens with every Toon sandwich in After Effects, and then that's exported, and hallelujah, we have the final video done. Until I go through the music and sound stages and notice 1,000 different things that I stuffed up and need to be fixed, which is all part of the process, because a lot of the things you can't even see until you render it out. So that was stage 4, the animation, and now we are on to stage 5, mental breakdown. No, music breakdown. All these themes are created from scratch using Apple GarageBand, which is ironic because I don't have a garage or a band or an apple. I like bananas. See all these pink clips? I think they're supposed to be green, but for some reason my GarageBand has some kind of error and they're coming out pink. Hey, if that's the way GarageBand wants to be, I'm all for it. I'm looking at this file now and whee-hoo, look at all these little pinklets. There are 40 different instruments being used in this file, including a medieval lute and a glockenspiel. As with the Superhero Bowl, there are a few clips that were able to be reused from the trailer spoofs and the Superhero Bowl itself. Yeah, so a lot of the arena themes and stuff reused for Superhero Bowl at the start there. One pleasant surprise was how well the Beetlejuice theme merged with the Exorcist theme. Who knew? Probably the devil. For the Valiant sequence, I created a bastardized, no pun intended, version of the Imperial March that ends with some notes from the Alien theme. Instead of going bum bum bum, it goes ba ba ba. I think that's Alien. At the time I thought it was Alien, so it must be. I trust past me. The Victory theme from Superhero Bowl has been repurposed as Oscar's Evil theme now. Felt that was appropriate given that the whole arena has been exposed as an evil enterprise. So, yeah, what do we got? Joker themes from 2 different Batman movies, Psycho theme, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Sauron, Evil, Mordor, Imperial March, the Ring mystery theme, Jean Grey theme from X-Men 3, Wicked Witch theme from Wizard of Oz, Billie Jean, various themes from Indiana Jones, Kylo Ren's theme, Green Goblin theme, Shelob theme, Independence Day theme, The Fly theme, Starship Troopers, King Kong, Emperor's theme, War of the Worlds, Jurassic Park theme merges into Smaug's theme. Lots of John Williams and Howard Shore in this, and here they meet. I am not worthy. Godfather, one of the most extended themes is the X-Men theme in this Magneto sequence, the Thing theme, and of course the end scream music, John Ottman's The Usual Suspects theme. There's an overarching theme here, and it's themes. This end music I'm going to call the Heroes and Villains theme, and I hope to expand on it in the Super Showdown Bowl. And that's the music, and then that's rendered out, and then we go into Pro Tools again, returning to Pro Tools. Stage 6, the final stage, the final audio. So now we've got the video there as a guide. We can actually see what we're looking at, see all the files there. Green is the dialogue, blue is sound effects, and purple is music. So we have all our files, and now it's just a case of adjusting the audio level, starting with the dialogue. Always prioritize the dialogue over everything else. And there's also reverb added at this stage. Then adjust the music levels second to fit around the dialogue, and sound effects last to fit around the dialogue and the music. And once all that's done, once the world has ended and you're 150 years old, we bounce the audio, which basically just means export. I don't want to call it bounce, but bounce we shall. Combine it with the final video in QuickTime, and God willing, your video is finished, and then you got to convert it for YouTube and upload it and just crawl into a hole and die. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Sorry if I got a bit goofy. Oh, man, that was a lot of detail. You can see so much when you're down that small.
I bet you can.
Yeah.
So what's coming up now is a full-length side-by-side video of the two of us doing all of the voices for the entire Supervillain Bowl, so be prepared for this to be long.
Along with a small video showing all the parts that went into all the different characters that you're seeing here. So if you stick around, we'll see you in about 22 minutes plus.
Arise, warrior. The battle is about to begin.
Who said that? What the? Where are my clothes?
Put on your uniform and enter the arena.
Well, I hope you got a good floating eyeful, buddy, 'cause you ain't seen this chemical bleach booty again. Hold it. My uniform has a lot of accessories. Looking less and less like Gotham's seedy underbelly. Oh, great. More pervs.
How long have I been asleep?
This is a really large wardrobe.
Oh. This can't be the real world. It's too yellow.
Are we down the rabbit hole or through the looking glass? Perhaps we're over the rainbow!
I have so many questions!
You are all here for one purpose. To decide once and for...
Why are we listening to this giant gilded gonad when we could be kicking each other's asses?
Villains.
I should have seen that coming. Training has greatly improved since your time.
Why do you wear the mask? Enough said.
It's what you can do with it that counts. Someone's overcompensating.
Thank you all so much for attending my seminar, How to Be More Than Just a One-Time Marvel Villain. The key concept here is sex appeal, and unfortunately, none of you possess it.
I accuse you of being a prick. Huh?
Ta-ta.
How?
I don't believe this. I paid 75 Deutschmark for this thing. It's not even the real Loki. Mein Gott.
Smith will suffice. I'm making friends wherever I go. Agent Smith.
Your appearance is lacking a key ingredient. Let's put a smile on that face, sir. Oh, thank God. I thought you were gonna... Ta-da!
Puddin'!
There's plenty of pudding to go around, sugar.
Ew, get a load of this joker.
Who am I speaking to?
Do you like scary YouTube videos?
Here's Johnny.
Oh, sorry I'm late. Traffic was a nightmare on Elm Street.
You killed my Jason. Don't forget, we always work in pairs. What the?
There's only room for one Dark Lord in this story.
Then it won't be the poster child for rhinoplasty gone wrong.
I see you've transferred part of yourself into another thing. Mind if I steal that idea times 7?
Plagiarism.
Did someone say Dark Lord?
Yeah.
I don't like it, so I'm going to take a ring off it.
My wife's gonna kill me.
My precious. Oh, it is precious. You have good taste, little goblin buddy. It magically resizes to fit the wearer? Shut up. Best bling ever.
I hear you like riddles.
Don't go staking my heart.
Hasta la frista, baby. I'm the most chillin' villain.
Can you stop with the cheesy puns?
Don't you mean freezy buns?
Guess not.
Damn, that's cold.
Hey, your fell beast just fell on my beast.
Everything you've built
will fall. I don't like sand. It gets everywhere.
Wow, you really suck at sand art. Who is that supposed to be? You.
Gobbledygookamay!
I know it scares you, Davy boy.
Calamari?
Hey, lady, help me up.
You dirty bird. There's a pun crying out to be made here, but I'm blanking on it.
I couldn't help notice your suit has no nipples. How do you plan on feeding your young?
How do you plan on having any?
You know, I came as close as anybody's ever come to killing the Batman. I shot him in the chest. Crazy.
Go back to the swamp, Shrek.
Weren't you on the good side? Good, bad. I prefer to think of myself as gray.
I went back in time and stole your mojo. Oh no.
Cheers. It's true what they say. She who lives by the psionic blade dies by the psionic blade.
Avada Kedavra! Was it the spell or just nature taking its course?
I know what you want. Exactly what you want.
Belle, will you be my witch?
Sup, witches!
Wait till they see what I can do with just one glove. I got the power. I got the time. What is happening to me? I got the mind.
Too much information!
I got the soul. Well, they can't all be gems. Kalima!
Neat trick. See when I do it?
Holy Shiva!
It's fatal.
Are you going to eat that?
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's him! Be cool, Kylo. Deep breaths. Shh. Gramps? I don't know if you've heard, but I'm kind of on the outs with Mom and Dad. Can I move in with you? Welcome to the family. Awesome.
Khan! I was waiting for someone else to say it, but I'm not going to wait all day. Ah!
Ho, 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 ho. There goes wrath, but sloth, gluttony, greed, lust, pride. You're the one I've been waiting for.
Spray it, don't say it.
Hey, Bane, are you alright?
Hey, Bane, are you alright? Die, Scarecrow! Die, Tin Man!
What?
Die, Cowardly Lion!
Now you belong to my army. Here's your induction form. Sign and initial each page. I need my glasses. Not so hot now, are you, Frost? You're the unfairest of them all. Told you she's had work done. Don't be dragging me down just because my wings are 100% organic.
Ah!
You just brought a weaponized glider to a sword fight.
Ow! Not again, bruh!
Wolf with her!
A Bowie knife. I see what you did there.
My king! A dog! Oh, the bitter irony!
I want you to kill all the humans.
You got it, boss.
Kanojo no kobi ni wa nani ga arimasu ka?
El Eliano!
Mm-mm.
And then she leaves and says she doesn't want to have my baby. I mean, come on. How hard is it to raise a maggot?
Oh, shut up! I'm crawling out of my skin here!
Glad I keep this handy.
Hey!
Hey, buzz off.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice!
I gotta tell you, I'm really happy you just said that.
Ah!
I'm gonna stand over here, though.
I was prom queen myself.
They're all gonna laugh at you! They're all gonna laugh at you!
Yeah.
Hey there, doll.
You can have him, honey, but caution. This toy contains small parts.
Evil and wriggling. I ship us. Oh, she's making me hard.
Kids, am I right? King takes queen. I'm flattered, Your Highness, but you're not my type.
Fly, my childhood traumatizers!
Ape, not kill ape.
King Kong ain't got
Get your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Melting, melting! Oh, what an alien world! What world! What world!
Seems 'twas ugly killed the beast. Why did birds suddenly appear?
Are you a god?
I'm a Zod. Does that count?
Go force lightning. Choose the form of the destructor.
Nobody think or say anything. I could really use a tripod.
The choice is made.
Oh no.
Typical.
Yar, the moon.
Did someone say moon?
I don't know why, but I got a real problem with you, buddy. I like it on the rocks.
I'm going to give you the choice. I never had. I'll take it. Oh, why does this always end in dust?
Defeated by common bacteria, my new weapon of choice. A two-stepping wolf. Ah, walk of shame. We've all been there, girlfriend.
You wanna play rough? Okay, let's play rough. Say hello to my little friend. Oh.
Jurassic pork.
Gojira!
Wait, what am I doing?
Hanzo makes hats now?
Love me some Oren sushi.
Jesse, what have I been smoking?
What the hell?
Say goodnight to the bad guy.
Look how they massacred my boy.
No more Mr. Roboto.
Huh.
Call it.
You call it.
Huh?
Dave, my mind is going.
Oh.
There are so few of us left who haven't been converted to the Agent Smith or Enchantress causes.
Hands up who'd rather be an ass-kicking agent in a well-tailored suit than a walking turd with 1,000 eyes.
Is it too late to switch providers? Traitors!
Prepare to be smithed.
Here's the thing. I'm just gonna head on out of here.
Huh. Did you think this was the real me? Oh wait, it is the real me. Oh, for Odin's sake.
Reality check.
Why did you say that name?
Yoink.
Why did you take my spear?
DC girls together.
I like what you're selling, lady. There's just one teeny problem. I'm not from DC.
I'm from T2.
Why don't you ever want to be my friend? Oh, this can't be good.
I am your mother? He's a Skywalker, all right. If you're going to scream, do it where no one can hear you. Your power is unbeatable, but it wasn't always. When will you humans learn? Why waste years developing power When you can just take it.
Lesson learned.
I should have attached an elbow strap!
Best mitt ever and no one to play ball.
Oh, bam! Game over.
You cheated.
Of course. I'm a bad guy. It's what we do.
Harley Quinn, you are the ultimate villain.
I could have told you that from the start, but that wouldn't have been as much fun. Boy, it's a good thing Godzilla didn't win. Not sure how he'd fit through this 6-foot wide hole.
So, a boy from Marvel and a girl from DC. I'm getting a major Romeo and Juliet vibe. Do you feel it too?
I'm really more into tats than scars. Also, you seem to be lacking in a few key areas.
Oh, no. These grow back into full-size muscular appendages. All 5 of them.
I almost don't want to interrupt, but I will.
Where are you, psycho Barbie?
Who are you, mister?
You're dying to know, aren't you? It's just eating you up from the inside. Damn it! Why did I put that switch there?
Wait a second, I know you. You're an Academy Award.
Huh. The Academy Award lives inside a Golden Globe.
It's true. I have modeled my appearance on your industry's greatest honor.
Our industry? You mean crime?
I mean movies.
What are you talking about? I'm not in the movies. Although I should be.
You are a movie character.
No, I'm not. I'm a Gotham City siren.
I see what's going on here. See, she can't break the 4th wall just yet. We are movie characters. I'm played by a supermodel named Ryan Reynolds, and you're played by... Wait, you've been watching our Earth movies?
And I've recreated you all in meticulous detail to provide entertainment for my subjects.
How did you get all these different angles? I don't recall seeing a spider cam in there. Spider-Man, maybe.
It's not important.
Are you saying I'm not the real Harley Quinn?
There is no real Harley Quinn. You're the most real she's ever been.
Wait, what? That didn't happen.
It did. In Superhero Bowl 5603. Actually, it happens in almost every one.
Oh no. It's Westworld.
You don't put in this much effort for a once-off. Plus, I sell tickets to these things. It's good pocket money.
So how many times have I won?
This would be your first.
What? And her?
Also a first-timer. If you ask me, you both got ridiculously lucky.
Oh, come on! Who usually wins the Hero Bowl?
Dr. Manhattan. We've had many insightful conversations over the years. I don't know why he left a handful of you alive this time, instead of blowing you all up like he usually does. That made no sense to me.
Why don't we remember any of this? And how do you repeat a battle when everyone's dead?
I created you, and I have the power to recreate you.
You could have done that at any time? I've been a stump for days.
I've already regenerated the heroes. They're down there right now, sitting in their cells, awaiting that one word that will wake them from their slumber, with no memory of before. You two should get some rest, what with your big showdown tomorrow.
So we fight each other to the death. You regenerate us, and we end up fighting again and again forever? What exactly is our incentive here?
Well, I can tell you that if you do fight, you won't experience any more of this. The show must go on. Time to regenerate the villains.
To anyone listening, you have a new message from Jean Grey. Please find shocking revelations attached. Arise.
Jean.
Good heavens. You'd think I'd be accustomed to seeing blue people by now. What about purple? I take it you both got Miss Gray's message?
This Oscar being has abused the power to create life. He must be stopped.
We were created to fight. I say we do so. Glad to see we're all on the same page. Kurt, just the mutant. I need you to bring everyone in here.
You mean all the heroes?
No. I mean everyone. Hey guys, Deadpool here, breaking the fourth wall again. You know, I don't even see a wall. To me, it's a big open window. I just wanted to let you know that this and every Toon sandwich is the work of 2 people.
They live in Australia, and they have no connections to anything. If you haven't already, you can help them just by hitting subscribe. And if you're feeling super generous, you can even sponsor their channel.
Nice fourth wall break.
Right?
Wow, Fight Club has really grown beyond what I intended.
It's not Fight Club, you idiot. It's a battle royale on an alien world.
Talia, what have I told you about talking to strange men?
If you guys don't shut up, I am gonna fake my death by your hands.
And just like that, she's gone, girl.
Well, so there's that.
It's been quite a journey.
I tell you, it was just as hot in that cupboard as it is today.
That's right. Yeah, you would have seen us melting a la Raiders of the Lost Ark Nazis.
So Joe would come to bed and he'd be like, "Oh, it was a 5-night shirt or something."
I would just slip off the bed.
Night.
Turn into water like that guy in X-Men. Wow, you've made it to the end of the... Or you've skipped to the end of the video, most likely.
I don't know why you would, because like this is not the fascinating part of the video.
Or is it? Twist! It closes... no, there's no twist.
It's not.
So right now, we are in production on Super Showdown Bowl, the sequel to this, the threequel in the Bowls trilogy.
The Bowls trilogy.
Like the Cornetto trilogy, only the ice cream is in a bowl now. And,
yeah, it's kind of not at
cool.
all.
And it's not as funny. Rest assured, it'll be just as painful and difficult as what you just saw, times 2. Yay!
Since it will be.
I am dreading it. So we've got some more excruciatingly detailed work to do. So Rita, this time, let's go together.
Sure.
Rita!
Yeah.
And it doesn't have Simon Cowell.
And there's no ice cream. And it's not an actual bowl.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice!
I was prom queen too.
Yeah, I'm the fly, and it's goodbye for me.
Splat!